Hello, hello to all of you health enthusiasts. Let me ask you, do you have any idea what might be in your drinking water? You know, water is the essence of life, and we use it for just drinking, for our food, for agriculture, for bathing. And yet, we really don't have any idea about all the impurities that just might be lurking in that water, like viruses and bacteria and chemicals and heavy metals. There's just unlimited amounts of toxicity in our water right now. Hi, I'm Renee McLaughlin. I'm a certified health coach, and I am passionate about finding and then sharing really innovative natural products that can help you look and feel your very best. And that's just what I'm going to do today. So, while we're going to do a deep dive into all the nasties that might be in your water, I'm also going to be sharing a product that will absolutely guarantee that you will be able to clean it all up simply, easily, and yes, even affordably. So when I went to do this video, I found someone who did an incredible job with it, really going into the different contaminants and showing you in a beautiful way how this natural product actually works. So I'm just going to turn it right on over to him, and I'll be kind of popping in here and there. So if you are ready to find out, number one, what might be lurking there, a little scary, I know, but just keep going because then you're going to see how nature has created a product, yes, to help clean up the water. So, one, two, three, let's go.
By the Central Disease Control and EWG. It's been added to water since the 1950s as a measure for reducing the incidence of tooth cavities. So we're told, we're putting this stuff in the water to make your teeth clean. Few people know that it was actually a byproduct of industrial byproduct, and they had to do something with it, and they made up some crap that fluoride is good for you, and they started adding it in the water in the 1950s. Fluoride has been linked to many health effects, including bone disease, systemic disorder, increased risk of cancer, Down syndrome, heart disease, osteoporosis, and bone fracture, immune disorders, low intelligence, renal disorders, Alzheimer's, and allergic reactions. This is a repeat slide here. I have it in here by accident. I could go deeper and deeper into it because this is like one of the most interesting things. But if you just go to YouTube and type in fluoride documentary, you're going to find a whole slew of documentaries you can watch and go down the rabbit hole on the whole fluoride thing. It is pretty creepy and a little bit disturbing once you start finding out these things, because you start wondering why they're really adding it to the water. And if you follow the conspiracy circles, a lot of people believe that it's being added to the water to dumb down the population. It could be true, I don't know. I'm not advocating that. Fluoride it accumulates in your body over time, especially in your bones, and causes havoc. Some studies have shown fluoride accumulates in your pineal gland. Fluoride is a neurotoxin. It affects brain function, and especially in young children who are still developing. Heavy metals. This is something that's really a biggie for me here, because I live in South America, where they still put lead in fuel, and they use mercury in rivers down here south of us in Peru to extract gold. People are getting mercury poisoning, lead poisoning. It's just scary. The term heavy metal really means metal that is heavy, according to the periodic table. While living things require trace levels of some heavy metals, such as cobalt, manganese, and zinc, other heavy metals, such as lead, mercury, and arsenic, have been proven to have no benefits whatsoever to our bodies and cause adverse and very serious health effects. Lead, like I just mentioned, of course, it's been around for years, and the Roman Empire fell because of lead plumbing. Lead may contaminate water through, well, that's a theory that it fell from lead plumbing. I'm not going to say that as a fact. It's been proven to affect brain function. Lead may contaminate water through corrosion of natural deposits, metal water taps, interior water pipes, or pipes connecting to a house. Even low exposure to lead may result in a variety of health effects, including learning disabilities and behavioral problems in children. Now, most of us think we don't have lead plumbing anymore, which is true in most areas, but that doesn't mean it's gone. It accumulates on surfaces, it's in the soil. Young children 6 years and under are at the most risk, as their brains are still developing. For adults, drinking water contaminated with lead in excess may lead to kidney problems and high blood pressure. Here's a picture of lead poisoning in the bones and teeth. Mercury. Mercury is a liquid metal that may contaminate water through erosion of natural deposits discharged from refineries and factories, landfills and croplands. Drinking water contaminated with mercury in excess may lead to kidney damage and a wide variety of health problems. Skin discoloration, loss of hair, teeth and nails, transient rashes, hypotonia, muscle weakness, and increased sensitivity to light. Other symptoms may include kidney dysfunction or neuropsychiatric symptoms such as emotional instability. I should say instability, memory impairment, and or insomnia. Arsenic. Arsenic is a tasteless and odorous metal that may contaminate water through erosion, natural deposits, runoff from orchards, and electronic production waste. It's been linked to a wide range of serious health problems, including several forms of cancer, such as bladder, lungs, skin, kidney, nasal passages, liver, and prostate cancer. Non-cancerous effects may include stomach pain, nausea, diarrhea, numbness in hand and feet, discoloration of the skin. So that's just heavy metals alone. And you guys, this isn't just a few odd incidences somewhere in the third world countries. This is in your water right now. The EWG has done a number of studies of what's in tap water. I'm just reading out the research that's been found in North America. Hexavalent Chromium 6. This is an interesting one because there's been a movie about it. The Aaron Brockovich movie made it famous. You may or may have not seen it. Hexavalent Chromium 6 is highly toxic. It's a heavy metal, and it can occur naturally in the environment. It may contaminate water through leaks in industrial plants and hazardous waste sites. Hex chromium is a known carcinogen that has been linked to lung, nasal, and sinus cancer, according to the EWG. Hex chromium has been detected in the drinking water of at least 72 million Americans in 42 different states. There's another repeat slide, I'm sorry. But when I watched the movie, I thought this was just one story about some town in California and some lawyer fighting for the rights of a few people. It turns out that this is actually in over 89% of the water across the whole country, at least America alone, according to the EWG studies. And this is a map showing a concentration of hex chromium in America. Now, it turns out that the problem is so bad. The concentration of hex chromium in California alone is so high, until recently, that if they actually enforced the law about the maximum amount of allowed chromium-6 in the water, they would have to shut down the water plants and people would go without water. So recently, actually very recently, they just changed the law and they increased the limit of allowed hex chromium in water. So it's not a problem anymore. I'm just kidding, of course it is. Okay, the next things, industrial chemicals, agricultural chemicals, I'm going to go over it a bit quickly because there's a lot of long names here and I don't know how to pronounce them all and it's just going to take a lot of time to read all this. I'm going to put my glasses on because my vision powers are running out. Okay, so benzene, it's a volatile organic chemical, and drinking water contaminated with benzene in excess may result in anemia, decreased blood platelets, and increased risk of cancer. BPA, which you may have heard of, it's an endocrine disruptor, which means it may interfere with the endocrine system, producing adverse development, reproductive, neurological, and immune effects. Diambutyl phthalates, I don't know how to pronounce that, have been linked to birth defects and reproductive toxicity. MTBEs associated with liver, kidney damage, and nervous system effects. PCBs, immune deficiencies, problems with the thymus gland, reproductive or nervous system, and an increased risk of cancer. VOCs are basically carbon-containing compounds that are contained in a wide variety of commercial, industrial, and residential products like oils, gasoline, solvents, cleaners, degreasers, paints, inks, dyes, refrigerants, and pesticides. A lot of these things end up being flushed down the toilet or back into the water supply by people who are just not conscious of what they're doing. Harmful to the central nervous system, kidneys, or liver. Some VOCs are known or suspected carcinogens. Natural gas drilling is a huge source of VOCs. You may have seen recent documentaries about this, where they're basically trying to extract gas. This is a wide range problem in Canada, America, and even Europe. And this process releases a lot of VOCs, toxic VOCs, into the water, especially flammable things like methane. In the recent documentary Gasland, which you may have seen, I have some pictures over here. People are now able to light their taps on fire. They open the water and out comes water with VOCs. You can light it on fire, and then they're drinking that. It's just insane. Agricultural chemicals. Agriculture is actually one of the leading causes of water pollution right now. It's been found in over 97 different types of agricultural contaminants have been found in over 250 million people in 46 states. Some of these are herbicides, fungicides. Again, some pretty scary names by themselves. Atrazine causes cardiovascular system problems and reproductive difficulties and cancer, EPTC, colon and prostate cancer, cell damage, hormonal interference and reproductive problems, simazine, blood problems, carcinogenicity, reproductive and developmental toxicity, neurotoxicity, and acute toxicity. Now, when you think about one of the most widespread problems these days, when I lived in North America, I had this all the time of people having problems with fertility. I mean, of course, a lot of those problems are coming from GMO and just the chemicals in food these days. But if you look at just what's in water alone, it paints a pretty clear picture. I mean, all these things are in our drinking water. It's no wonder people are getting sick and suffering from problems. 1 in 3 people now in America are getting cancer. And I think the number is going to rise soon, in my opinion. When you start to look at this, is any wonder? So fungicides, including chlorothalonil, the most used fungicide in the U.S. that is likely a carcinogen. According to a USDA, honeybees that were fed this chemical, which I can't pronounce, were 3 times more likely to become infected with the parasite Nosema chlorothalonil. So, DDT, dieldrin, diazinon. I mean, you get the point at this stage. What kind of symptoms have we not read out here? Okay, Parkinson's, breast cancer, immune reproductive, nervous system damage, vomiting, that's a new one, nausea, cramps, and diarrhea, slow pulse, respiratory problems, gastrointestinal distress, and urological problems. There's disinfection byproducts. Just the sheer fact of trying to clean the water from all this other stuff leaves a whole other slew of toxic stuff in the water, which is hard for water processing plants to take out. Chlorine, for example, it's in most water. It's widely used to disinfect and kill organic life in the water that's harmful. But the reason why it works to kill microorganisms is because it's poison. So think about that. Not only does chlorine affect the taste of water, but drinking chlorinated water in excess may result in nose and eye irritation and stomach discomfort. Chloramine is a disinfectant that is formed when ammonia is added to water containing free chlorine. Drinking water containing chloramine in excess may cause nose and eye irritation, stomach discomfort, and even anemia. And then we have trihalomethanes, THMs, which are tasteless. It's a disinfection byproduct that occurs when disinfectants are added to water that contains organic matter. Drinking water with THMs in excess may result in liver, kidney, or central nervous system problems and an increased risk of cancer. And then we have microorganisms, which the water is typically treated for these with things like chlorine, which we just mentioned, but some microorganisms are very resistant to these things, and they can contaminate the water through human and animal fecal waste. Bacteria such as E. coli, Enterobacter cloacae, Proteomyrabilis, can't pronounce these at all, can cause some pretty interesting health effects like diarrhea, urinary tract infections, respiratory illness, and pneumonia. Anything else that we haven't read so far? Viruses. Poliovirus is, of course, a known virus that can lead to paralysis. Rotavirus is one of the most leading causes in over 500,000 deaths each year in children 5 years and under. Now, I'm not sure if this is true for the U.S., as I think I hope they have cleaner water than that, but definitely in third world countries, that's a biggie. Parasites such as Giardia and Crypto, they're very tolerant to chlorine and are usually found in water. So, last but not least, we have pharmaceuticals and basic drugs. Did you know that people flush drugs down the toilet? Where do those end up? Well, these are these chemicals are sometimes very hard to get out of water, and they end up recirculating through the system. Recent studies, an investigation done by the Associated Press has found trace levels of pharmaceuticals in drinking water supplied to 46 million people in 24 major cities in the U.S. It is estimated that at least 271 million pounds of pharmaceuticals have been released into waterways that supply our drinking water. Some of these pharmaceuticals have found to be antibiotics, anticonvulsants, mood stabilizers, and hormones. Over-the-counter drugs have also been detected. So, that's it for the doom and gloom in this webinar. I just wanted to go over that in case you weren't aware of what actually is in your water right now, very likely in your water. I don't know, maybe you live in like some pristine paradise where these things are not in the water, but our water system is connected. It's not like isolated pockets of water. I mean, there's rain circulating water, then underground, there's waterways that are connected, and there's this plumbing system through cities. This stuff is pretty much everywhere. I mean, right now you can read some studies where they're finding plastic in the Arctic in the ice, like BPA, plastic chemicals. That's how bad it is. It's everywhere. So the question is, what do we do? What is the solution? And that's why I'm here today with you in this webinar, because I'm going to show you. Now, of course, choice number one, like most people, is to just remain oblivious. My water looks fine, it's clean, it's fine. I've been in people's homes where they're like, yeah, you got clean water, you can drink this well water, it tastes great. Have some, and I drink it, it just tastes like crap. Or I can smell chlorine in their tap water, which means, of course, it's not good for you. And then you can have choice number two, which is to get a reality check and do what I do, find a solution, and do it. And that's why I'm here with you today. So what if I told you that there was something so powerful that it could remove and neutralize heavy metals, like lead, mercury, and arsenic? Take that stuff out of your water, but not just from your water, get this, from your body as well. You can get these accumulated toxins out of your body, help your body remove those things. I'll show you how that works. You can remove fluoride, chloride, and chlorine almost instantly from your water. Remove harmful microorganisms like E. coli and coliform. Remove agriculture chemicals, disinfectants, industrial chemicals, and pharmaceutical chemicals. Basically all the crap I just told you about. With this, you can literally take the worst water in the world and purify it into clear, clean, pristine, mineral-rich drinking water, all with just a few drops of an eyedropper bottle. You could give me a glass of putrid water, black water that kids in Africa are dying from, with all this crap in it, and use this to turn that into drinking water that would actually have healing properties. So instead of just talking about this, I'm going to show you some amazing videos so you can just watch this in action and see how it works. Here we go. All right, so what I'm going to play for you here in this video is you're going to see how black mica takes a totally filthy pond, just full of slime and algae and all kinds of contaminants, and just takes everything out in a matter of hours. As you can see, this video was filmed in Japan quite a while ago, and the quality is not that great, but just watch, because this is just quite mind-blowing. I'm going to play it for you right now. So you can see this whole pond is extremely dirty. It's got all kinds of stuff in there, and what they're doing, they're putting the black mica in and introducing it into the minerals into the water. Showing the animation of how these particulates respond to the oxygenated water from these minerals. And you can see almost instantly, with a matter of hours, these contaminants floating up to the top. And they're just scooping it up, and you can begin to see what's left is just this pristine, clear drinking water. When you can see what's left is this pristine water. And I think this guy's even going to test it now and even drink it in this video. It's amazing. This is originally a 10-minute video. I just shortened it down here for you guys into 1 minute, because obviously we don't have time to watch a whole 10-minute video. All right, so in the second video, what you have is this huge pool of water full of dark green slime. It's just nasty. And they put the theme rocks, the high concentrated black mica, into the water. And again, the particulates just float up, and they can easily be removed just by scooping them from the surface here, leaving the water totally pristine and clear. Alright, so in this video I want to show you exactly how this works and what happens when you put this in your tap water or in dirty water, what you can expect. It's quite miraculous. So on the left here we have a jar of normal distilled water. So this is just pure water. There's nothing in it. On the right, we have a jar of pretty nasty water. As you can see, it's mercury. You can barely see through it. It's pretty disgusting. So what we're going to do, I'm going to play the video right now. What we're going to do is put a few drops of black mica extract into the jar with the really nasty water, and you can see what happens immediately. The water smokes up as the minerals are beginning to interact with immediately with all the toxins, all the contaminants in that water. What's going to happen is they're going to smoke up, clump together, and fall to the bottom of the glass over the next few hours. And if we put a few drops of black mica, as you can see here, into the other jar, nothing happens because there's nothing in that water. Hope you can see the video quality here is not so great probably because of the internet connection for you as well, but in the right jar there's this smoky effect happening. Now this smoke usually only happens when the water is really, really bad. If you just put this in your tap water, don't expect this huge explosion of smoke to happen. But what you will see over several hours, I think the video will cut to it soon, is, yeah, here we go, I'm going to pause it. What you're seeing here at the bottom of the glass are all the contaminants that have been turned inert. They have been clumped together through a magnetic process and fall into the bottom of the glass, leaving the rest of the water pristine, clear, and drinkable. We start with what appears to be clean glass of water from a reputable local source of bottled water. Now, keep in mind, it looks clean. We're told it's clean. Even the label says it's clean, filtered, pure, drinking water. And to this, we add a few drops of added clarity, black mica, magnetic sulfate minerals. In the beginning, if we zoom in, you can already start to see, even though it's hard, especially if you're watching this on a low resolution video, maybe on the internet, the water begins to change texture a little bit. It's a little bit less transparent and almost a little bit yellow. This is about half an hour in. You can see the water's turning just a little bit yellow, a little bit more yellow. It's about an hour in. You can actually see now, I'm going to pause it, all the little particulates. You can begin to see these things clumping together in the water. It looks almost like dust, like a cloud of dust and specks in the water clumping together. They'll begin to get a bit more pronounced as we get into an hour and a half now here, the time lapse. You can see them moving and clumping together. This is just really quite amazing. Remember, we started with a clean glass of water, completely transparent. If someone asked you if there was something in that water that was harmful, you'd probably say no. But now, as we're almost 2 hours in, you can clearly see the stuff collecting together, clumping together, and falling to the bottom of the glass. This is about 2 hours in. You can already see the stuff collecting at the bottom. At the top, it's a bit more clear. I zoomed in here a little bit to show you the stuff collecting at the very bottom of the glass. And I let this glass sit for a day. And the next day, this is pretty much what you're left with, is perfectly clean, pure, clean drinking water, full with life-giving minerals, and all the stuff that makes you sick is collecting at the bottom. The heavy metals, the chemical and biological contaminants. You can see it at the bottom of the glass. All right, and we're back. I hope you enjoyed these videos. So what this essentially is black mica extract. I'm going to tell you about the science of it now and how it works. What you saw there in the first video is when I took a clean, what looked to be a clean glass of water and added this in, and over just an hour, our glass looked like this. What this does is, through a magnetic process, it allows the water to cleanse itself. The water literally, as if it had its own immune system, begins to push everything out of it that's not supposed to be in there naturally, and it comes together through a magnetic process and sinks to the bottom. What you're seeing, these dust particles here, is the water doing exactly that. All these things are beginning to clump together. I mean, an hour ago this looked like pristine, just transparent water, and all we did was added a few minerals to it. So what is happening? It's super amazing. Usually, depending on how long you leave the water, all that stuff will clump together and fall to the bottom. And you can take it out through a coffee filter and have amazing water. Now what is left at the top here, this clean water, is not just pure water. That's water with essential sulfate, magnetic sulfate minerals, the same stuff that is found in mineral hot springs and mineral springs that have been known to have healing properties throughout the ages. People are experiencing miraculous healing by going to these hot springs and mineral springs. If you look this stuff up, this is the same stuff. It's just quite amazing. The stuff at the bottom, it's not just the bad stuff that fell to the bottom. It's actually been neutralized through a magnetic process. It's been turned inert. These contaminants are no longer harmful to the body. Your body can actually expel them because they're in a sulfate form. It is just amazing. I'm super excited about this. Can you tell? Okay, so as you saw there, just in that experiment, just because you can't see it, it doesn't mean it's not there. And this is why I love using this stuff. This is actually the bottle it comes in. Added clarity, black mica, minerals. This bottle has been beat up by my use. And I don't know if you guys could see that. I don't know, my camera is on there. Anyway, it allows you to see what's in your water. And water that you previously thought was healthy and clean, you put a few drops of this in and wait, and you see what is really.
So I hope you see now why I am so excited about this product. Because, when you saw that jar that has the pure water in the top and the sort of yellowy flakes on the bottom, that's exactly what my big jugs of water look like after I do it. I like to kind of get them ready and put the water in before I go to sleep. And then in the morning, it's there. But I really believe that even if I just put them in the day and do this, it's still really cleaning the water and I'm drinking it. So you can kind of extrapolate out and think about what might happen when you drink that. What's it doing in your body? I'll just leave that part to you. And of course, we'll have some more about that on another video. So, when I found this, just so you might find it. There's some other people that kind of private label the black mica water. Our private label is called Daily Minerals, and I'm going to leave a link to the bottom. So we have a great website that you can go on and get it very affordably, 32-ounce bottle, which will last you, depending on how you use it, a lot. And I'm going to be going into more on other videos showing some really other ways that you can use the water in the bath to clean your fruits and veggies, etc. So you definitely want to get your bottle. And if you use our coupon code that says 10 off, you're going to get 10% off your whole order. And as long as it's over $90, which it will be when you get this, you will get free shipping. So thanks so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. Let us know if you have any questions. And I wish you a fit and fabulous day.